This is Fleet and Footy on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network, sponsored by Alive Credit Union.
Hey, how about a Wednesday edition of Fleet and Footy here in Jacksonville and reunited? And it feels so good.
It does. It really does.
It is good to have you
be back in Florida.
Back in the building, Big Lou, ready to break down what has been a big week for the boys in blue. And we'll get to that in just a second. But hello to everybody joining us for another edition of Fleet and Footy here in the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 studio. We both went Armada hats. That was not planned today.
Not at all. Not at all.
We both went with some hats.
But this was planned. I mean, look at this beautiful sweatshirt. Available for purchase on our website, but just in time for the holiday season. Nice, right? We also got some shirts up there in a green color. Yeah, Hamby with the white shot. Love it. Nice. So in the season, in the holiday spirit, got our holiday party coming up. We're planning for that, so I'm in the mood. I'm in the season, but I'm really excited to talk about the massive weekend that the boys just had.
How much planning are you having to do for that?
I'm definitely planning here and there. I'll definitely have to get involved and have my hands in things. So we'll be busy, and I'm hearing that we'll have a special guest coming from up north. Might make an appearance.
Is it me?
I think Stuart Weber will make an appearance.
Well, because I'm driving back from Atlanta that day for the party, so
that's great. I love to hear it.
I'll go up there, go visit my family there for the holidays for the week, and then come back just in time to see everybody at the holiday party. We have a special visitor from up north, you said?
Yes, yeah.
How far north?
Pretty far.
Pretty far north.
It's pretty cold up there where he's from, so, you know.
Okay. I like it. It's not just Daniel with a longer beard, is it?
No, it's not.
I could see that.
It's not.
All right, so you're back in town. You just got back yesterday.
Yes, sir.
How was the week? Of course, you went out west to California. The Jacksonville Armada's first time participating in the MLS Next Fest. The Academy teams, the U19s and the U17s heading out there. It looked gorgeous, by the way. We're checking out some of the videos from out west. I mean, how spectacular was that venue and that setting?
The views were gorgeous. What
are those lumpy things in the background? I'm not familiar with those here in Florida.
It was incredible.
What do you call those?
Everywhere
mountains?
You looked,
mountains they call them?
Exactly. Everywhere you looked, you were surrounded by those big lumpy things, as you would say. And it was just gorgeous. The views weren't incredible. You had those beautiful palm trees, that nice little structure in the background. You may recognize it if you know about Coachella. It's the same grounds that Coachella is played at. And you would think that these fields would get messed up because these are also polo grounds. So you got horses running on them, people whacking those big old sticks. But
is that how polo works?
Yeah, from what I understand, whacking the big sticks on the horses.
Yeah. All right.
And these fields are pristine. I mean, gorgeous. This is out in Indio, California. And so, the boys flew out. We stayed at a fantastic hotel out in Palm Springs, California. And so the U17s and the U19 squads were out there. Now, both had two different roles coming out to the trip. The U17s were playing 3 showcase games. And when I say showcase games, I say they're showcasing their skills and their abilities to college coaches and also scouts. There were MLS scouts there. There were also scouts from different clubs from around the world just checking out. It's such a huge event. One of MLS's biggest events all year, happening the same weekend as the MLS Cup Final.
Which was also in L.A. Don't mind me fixing my chair here.
Yes.
Which was also in L.A.
So it kind of worked out. There was a lot of hype around it, and there's a lot of hype around this tournament every year. These kids have an opportunity to do a lot of different things, whether that be show out for college coaches, qualify for different tournaments, want to get that pro contract with another club. But the U17s played 3 different showcase games against teams from across the country. I want to say New Jersey, Chicago, and I think another team out west in California. So U17s definitely had their work cut out for them, but there wasn't too much on the line as per se you could say for the 19s. And that footage you just saw was of the U19 squad. They had an opportunity to qualify for the MLS Generation Adidas Cup, which happens later on in 2025. but is a tournament against the best academies from around the globe, the Man Cities, the Barcelonas, the Real Madrids. And so it's a massive opportunity for these clubs who aren't necessarily associated with the Division I MLS club to be able to qualify for that tournament and showcase themselves on the biggest stage.
So now the MLS U19, MLS Next teams, do they have their own tournament that they're kind of qualifying through as well, in addition to this qualifier, which is more for the unaffiliated squads?
Yes. So this U19 squad qualified for this tournament based off of their fall season performances. So because they did so
and
well.
Weston, right, in the state of Florida.
Yes, and Weston ended up getting all the way to the Final Four as well. So we almost had an all-Florida final. But the boys in blue started out their weekend against KSA versus Atlanta. They're from Atlanta, and they went down 1-0. And if you lose in that first game, you still get to play 3 more showcase games, but that's not why we're there. That's not why the boys were there. They were hungry. So going to halftime, down 1-0, they're able to fight back, win that first game 2-1, and I think that momentum carried them all the way through. You had the next game, a gritty, really, really gritty 1-0 win against De Anza Force.
Now, which and we're going to show you a really spectacular goal here in a little bit, but which game did that goal come from?
That came from the first game against against KSA.
So
that was
Jason,
the winner.
That vertical goal I have in the system, if you can pull that one in, we got to take a look at that here at some point. But, I mean, this is just spectacular stuff. Tell me about this goal.
This is number 14, Bamanzi Alabarujo. He's currently committed to, I want to say, College of Charleston. And that's him just scoring an absolute banger. That's the U17 squad celebrating in the corner. It was, I mean, one of the best goals I've seen, definitely at this level, but one of the best goals I've seen that up close and personal, right behind the goal. And it was an awesome moment to be a part of and to be able to film and see that. And that was right towards the end of the game. The guys had to hold on for a little bit longer, and they did a great job to show their grit and their strength.
The goal, by the way, was much better than the filming. As we take another look here, don't hurt your shoulder, patting yourself on the back for this, as you were in the right place at the right time.
It's got 50,000 views on TikTok.
Okay,
25,000 on Instagram.
Yeah.
So shout out,
going TikTok.
Shout out Amanzi. Yes, yeah. Shout out Amanzi. It was a fantastic goal.
Was that the best work you did in the week that you were out there?
That was my favorite shot and moment. There was a lot of soccer tropes just in that one video. You can see the goalie slam his fist on the ground.
Yeah, sure.
Bamanzi runs over, screams, throws his arms out. The boys are in the corner celebrating.
All we needed was like the double knee slide, and that would have completed the hat trick, so to speak.
Yes, yeah. But it was a really, really cool moment. I think that kind of just set the tone for the weekend. I mean, Coach Bolowich told the boys, don't let this moment define you. This is one moment. We want to continue this momentum into the tournament. And so the boys didn't back down. The second game was against De Anza Force, and I'm pretty sure De Anza Force is from San Diego, California. So they really didn't have to travel far. We had to do a whole layover. A long trip.
You called
for
in
the
the
boys.
Show from your layover last week.
Exactly. Long trip for the boys. Adjusting to the time, a little bit different than if you're just a West Coast team out there. They get that win, 1-0 win, really gritty win. In the semifinal, this is one of my favorite wins because it honestly was just so dominating. I felt comfortable the entire game. I know the boys probably didn't, but it was honestly awesome to watch. It felt like they were firing on all cylinders. You had really nice goals from Tyler Tilden and Jaden Senchuk with the winner at the end. Bamanzi with a great assist as he cuts around a defender. That team was out of Rhode Island, Bayside, so they also had to travel a decent way. But to get that and to punch your ticket to the final, it was honestly such an amazing feeling. The boys were able to look forward to a game every single day.
Now, did Zach and Slater and Screech, did they all play for the opposition in that game, or no? Are you too young to get my reference
so.
here?
I think I'm.
Have you ever heard of Saved by the Bell?
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what school that they went to?
No.
Bayside High School.
Okay, there you go.
It's Bayside FC that they played.
Sorry.
Zach Slater and Screech didn't do it for you?
No.
That's fine. You're young.
23.
I'm with you, Lou.
Who are you with? You're with Lou?
Yeah, I'm with Lou.
You don't know that the Saved by the Bell was at Bayside High?
Nah, forget about it.
Are you kidding me? I bet if Mr. Belding walked through this door, you wouldn't even know who he is.
Probably telling. Get him out of here. Run him out of town.
Okay,
That's great.
All right.
Thank you, Hamby, for the backup.
No. That's not. Don't do that. Don't take sides here. Don't do this 2 versus 1 thing when I'm the one in the right because I understand fine culture. Enough of that. All right, so Bayside FC out of Rhode Island. Sorry, Brent. The Rhode Island team loses, and the boys got a chance to celebrate. Hamby, show me the celebration video, by the way, from that semifinal win, because this is something that they did, and it'll be the second clip you see when the video rolls. But every victory that they had, obviously you get your standard, get together, take your picture. Everybody clap, jump around a little bit. Let's do a huddle. Yep, there you go, jumpies. But then they had a really cool setup at this tournament where every time you win, you got a chance to advance your logo to the next round. Tell me about that, Lou.
It was honestly something that the boys looked forward to every
look how
day.
Ecstatic they're ready to go.
So they had these big boards, and a couple of these teams actually celebrate so hard that they knock over these boards.
Yeah.
But it was awesome. It was really cool because the boys kind of got to be able to pick who got to move the logo that day, kind of based on performance and how they were doing during the game. And
An MVP of sorts.
Yeah, and it was a cool extra thing to add on to the excitement, to be able to look forward to that and be able to celebrate with the U17s as well. I mean, it's just exciting, and it was cool to see. I think it was cool for the boys to see the Jacksonville Armada logo on a national stage, especially on this MLS Next level, to be able to get that national brand out there and the recognition, especially for a first-year club in this league. It's been really, really awesome.
I was going to ask before we get onto the final part. Actually, I wasn't going to ask. I was going to make a statement. I saw on social media from MLS Next, they did like a ranking the celebrations of different teams.
They did.
And they showed like 5 or 6 of them. And then every one of them, they rated them all 10 out of 10. Why even do this if we're just going to give everybody a 10 out of 10?
You got to
It's because of your 23-year-old culture where everyone needs a trophy and everybody needs a 10 out of 10 on their celebration.
Old guy Stuart coming in
10 out
here,
of 10.
grumpy old man.
How does every group get a 10 out of 10?
The social media.
Totally with you on this one, Stuart. 1-1 on the show today.
Thank you. All right.
MLS Next trying to be nice. I wish they were a little nicer to us. We should have gotten Squad of the Day one of these days. I was very, very disappointed in that. So the social media team didn't do me justice there. But 10 out of 10. I know that Mozzie had 10 out of 10 claps. That's what they rated. It was great. But you know what else was 10 out of 10? The format of this tournament. I thought it was really cool because they were able to stack these games back-to-back-to-back days only because these games were 60 minutes long. I mean, we're talking about 30-minute halves. So that first goal...
Okay, so these were only 30-minute halves.
Always crucial.
Okay.
Yeah. So 30-minute halves...
That changes the way you play a game.
It totally does.
Yeah.
The way that you start the lineup, the way that you end the lineup.
What were sub-rules would they have in place?
You had 3 moments... is what they call them. I want to say they have 3 moments in each half where they can sub.
So specific times that you're allowed to sub in?
Not necessarily specific times, but 3 moments that they have to. Like that they're,
Win a dead ball, like,
Yeah.
the first time out of bounds after the under 20, under 10 kind of thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Did you have like a limited subs or how did it work?
it was the same bench. It was a 7-man bench still.
Okay.
So once they were off the field, they were off the field. But whoever was on the field at the end of the game had to take the penalties at the end of the game. So the final had a extra time of 5 minutes, of 2 5-minute halves. All rounds before that were straight to penalties if tied. Thank goodness I didn't have to relive the penalty stress every single round. The boys got it done in regulation. But in the final, that did not happen. In the final, we actually went up early 1-0 against Sockers FC out of Chicago from a great goal from Tyler Tilden as he's falling back into the top corner, rings off the post. I mean, I got a picture of him striking the ball, but I wish I could see that on video one more time. the boys went into the half 1-0 up. Unfortunately, they got scored on in the second half, tying it all up at 1 even. And then that was the 5 minutes of extra time. So you had 2 5-minute halves of extra time and went in with a tie, went all the way to penalties, and the boys ended up dropping the final 9-8 in penalties. But, I mean, it was a fantastic run up to that point. The boys held their heads high even after the game. I know Coach Bolowicz and Coach Krzanovich were really proud of the boys to be able to come in here and show their best against the best. But that final was, I haven't been nervous for something like that, especially an Armada game, in quite some
Probably
time.
since U.S. Open Cup.
Yeah.
When we went to penalties in that one.
Exactly.
And
And
that's the most comparable thing you would think.
that's where my mind went to exactly. We almost got to that point where we had to go to the goalkeepers.
I was gonna say it was 9-8. So did it?
The next round would have been
goalkeepers.
Yes. So
Wow.
it would have been intense. I was ready to make the comparisons. But it was amazing. It was truly an amazing run for the boys. They got to show themselves on the national stage, show themselves in front of MLS scouts from around the globe who are looking for kids and want to be able to pick them out, and we want to be able to keep them here, obviously. Yeah. So it's nice to be able to finally see the recognition from other teams.
It's an interesting thing, right? Because we talk about the soccer landscape being different from other sports in the fact that even from a young age, players and organizations are quote unquote assets, right? They're being built up by these programs, by these academies, with the opportunity to either be transferred over, from a sale, quote unquote, to another program or things of that sort, to where it's important for you to develop your young guys so that they have the opportunity to go to other clubs if they want, or to go to your club once they get further down the road. And this, I'm sure, was a great opportunity for other clubs to see some of the talent that we've had brewing here in Jacksonville, and really a lot of these guys kind of coming up through Jacksonville FC and then getting this opportunity to then play on the Armada Under-19 MLS Next team.
Yeah, they got to really compare themselves to teams across the nation. I mean, we've played Weston, and Weston is one of the top teams in the nation.
It's no surprise that Florida's going to produce some top talent when it comes to really any sport, simply because of the fact that in Florida we can go year round. I think that's such a huge thing, and we have great athletes in this state, and it shows in every sport.
Yeah, so they got to compare themselves across the nation and be like, hey, we are good enough. Hey, we can do this. And so I think this really made the boys hungry and made them want more. I mean, the next thing to look forward to is obviously the spring season. They've got one more game in the fall this weekend against Tampa Bay United away. And then the spring season starts up, and the next big thing that they want to qualify for is a tournament up in Maryland, MLS Next Flex is what they call it.
There's Fest and there's Flex?
There is Flex and there is Fest.
Oh, okay. That's all right. That just feels like it's a little too similar from a naming standpoint.
The logos are very similar too, so I guess they want to keep the whole branding the same, and across the board.
I just feel like that makes it's already hard enough for me to explain to people the difference between MLS Next and MLS Next Pro.
Yep.
Which should seem pretty self-explanatory. Pro being a professional league versus MLS Next just being the guys who are up next. I don't know.
So you ready for this explanation then?
Yes, hit me with it, Lou. What do you got?
Now, MLS Next Flex are certain games in the spring season that count towards a separate table, the MLS Flex table.
Okay.
So
kind of like the NBA in-season tournament.
There you go, almost.
Where certain games count.
Yes.
Not only for your regular season, but then also for
another
play-in tournament.
Yes.
In-season tournament, whatever.
So the U19 squad is very close to qualifying for that tournament.
Okay.
They need a couple more points.
So have some of the random games they played in the fall also?
Yes. They equate to this.
All right.
So this is the next big thing that these guys
I'm glad
are
that you're here,
looking
Lou.
to.
I've said this before, but I don't know what we would do without you to help explain some of this stuff for us.
And then just like you said, there's also a regular league table, just like the NBA. So it counts towards this regular league table where there's a playoff at the end of the season against,
the
once
Florida
again,
teams.
No. The teams
against other teams, too.
Across the nation.
Well, we haven't played throughout the year.
Yes.
Is there a playoff for the Florida teams only?
No.
That's just a regular table.
Yep, it's leagued out.
So this is more like the Premier League, where there's no playoff at the end, but if you're good enough in the Premier League, you get to play in the Champions League.
Yes.
Which is its own separate thing.
This would be like Champions League of America.
All right. See, this is why we're here, by the way.
This is.
Because one of the hardest things for casuals to get is how everything concurrently happens at the same time with all these different leagues that you have to deal with. And I'm not just talking about the Armada Youth Academies. I'm talking about everything. A lot of people have a tough time figuring that stuff out and understanding, well, how do you play for AC Milan and the United States? Well, that's two different teams, but they don't play each other. No, it doesn't work like that. So that having to explain things to casuals, which I have been doing for many, many years in my industry, and generally people who watch Action News are going to be casuals, right? So it's important to be able to explain to them a little bit about how that works. And so that helps with that. Okay. Enough about fests and flexes, the differences between those. I want to know more about the trip. I want to know more about your time out there, Lou. Did you have a favorite kit that you saw? Did anyone have something that really stood out to you that you said, you know what, that's a pretty snazzy looking kit right there?
You know what?
Other than the Armada black and gold.
I was about to say,
that one's so good.
We got a lot of compliments on our kits. There weren't a lot of Puma clubs out there. MLS is associated with a lot of these clubs, so a lot of them do go with Adidas.
Yeah.
But so all eyes were on the Puma kits. People were like, "Ooh, who's that? Who's that?" So that was pretty cool. And probably my favorite kit, and it's so.
Yeah, here you go. It's simple,
awesome.
right?
It's
a
so
simple
good.
black jersey is always good, but that gold just pops. Shout out to LPT Realty.
My favorite jersey, and I'm biased about it, was there's a academy out in Arizona.
Okay.
The Barcelona Academy. So they just get to wear
Barcelona's
Barcelona's kits. I love. I don't
know, that doesn't feel very original.
I know it doesn't feel original. It definitely doesn't, but it was cool to be able to see
like
a jersey
Rayo,
like that.
Rayo OKC.
Oh, shout out Rayo OKC.
The 1 year we had them in the NAS. 1 year maybe? It might have been two. I think in the NASL when they did the white jerseys with the red sash
with the lightning bolt.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a classic logo, Rayo Vallecano. Yep. And we can also shout out the San Francisco Deltas, another dead team I thought about a couple days ago.
Okay. What made you think about the Deltas? Did they have a team out there?
Yeah, they did.
Did they?
That's the final.
Are they still alive?
No, not anymore. No.
I would have been shocked and amazed if they were still kicking.
It's the final NASL champion of all time, the San Francisco Deltas. Fun fact.
Those are some wild years in the NASL.
They were.
More fun stories to come here on Fleet and Footy as it relates to the Deltas. All right, favorite food? What'd you eat on? What'd you get some good stuff? Did you go to In-N-Out?
That's right. It's got to be In-N-Out.
You went to In-N-Out?
Last day, the staff got to go to In-N-Out.
It's just a burger, by the way.
It's good, though.
It's just a burger.
It's a good fast
Everybody
food burger.
freaks out about it because you can't get it here.
Exactly. You had to get it when you're over
the same reason people are like, Raising Cane's is the best chicken finger you've ever had. It's a good chicken finger.
Now
but the reason why it's so
I'll
good.
fight you on Raising Cane's being, but it's not that good. It's not that good.
It's coming to Jacksonville, by the way.
Oh, okay. All right, then it's good. It's good. We might want them as a sponsor on the show, so it's good.
Now you're thinking over there. I'm just saying, like, so often people think that it's the best food because you can't get it here. And so you build it up in your head and you get all excited about it. You're like, oh, that's In-N-Out burger. It's so good. I mean,
we had some great Mexican over there. That was good.
Yeah.
Mexican's always good out in California. So
certainly, yeah.
We had some good Mexican.
Okay.
A lot of sandwiches, at the field. But it was good. It was a really good trip overall. The boys did really well. They behaved themselves, so I was happy about that. And it was good. It was really good.
Because how many adults were there to oversee these?
There was 6 or 7 staff.
Okay.
There were 6 or 7 staff.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've been on some school trips and some things like that where it's like you get overrun by the numbers because there's 30 kids?
40 plus. Yeah.
40?
Yeah.
How many?
40. I think there was 47 of us total on the trip.
Okay, I got you. Yeah, so about 20 each team, and then that makes sense. All right, good stuff. That is the start of our show here on Fleet and Footy. We've gone through all the Armada MLS Next Fest stuff. By the way, if you missed it, you can go back and watch it on the Action Sports Jacks YouTube page. We'll tweet out clips and such over the course of the next week, and plenty to talk about there. We appreciate everybody joining us here on a special Wednesday edition of Fleet and Footy because we got a lot of high school basketball coming up over the next couple days on Action Sports Jacks 24/7. Really excited about the Fortegra Invitational. If you like basketball, if you like high school basketball, I know it's off topic from the soccer side, but keep us locked in here on the 24/7 network because we're going to have games Thursday and Friday at 2, 4, 6, 8 o'clock. So 4 games each of those days, and then 2 games on Saturday as well. So a lot to come there. But we got more soccer to talk about here on Fleet and Footy. We're talking about the MLS Cup Final next. Still to come a little later on. We got our weird soccer story of the week. We love bringing that to you each and every week. We got that coming up as well in just a little bit. But let's take a quick break right here on Fleet. There's your bracket. There's the bracket of all the local teams involved coming up at the Fortegra High School 9-12 Invitational. So I hope you can check that out. In the meanwhile, more soccer talk coming up next on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network here on Fleet and Footy. People helping people. It's at the core of what Alive Credit Union is all about, and it's been that way for over 70 years. From the start in 1954 to today, the mission remains to inspire financial wellness and give you a financially fit lifestyle. Alive Credit Union and its employees are committed to not only serving their valued members, but also our community here in Northeast Florida. I had a chance to see that commitment firsthand as Alive partnered with our Action Sports Jacks 24/7 team to bring you Armada men's and women's soccer broadcasts. Inside the 18, it is a shot, and it's a goal! Chloe Chivers! And that connection to the community continues with Alive Credit Union's support of the Police Athletic League of Jacksonville. Alive Credit Union's commitment to our community also involves serving the financial needs of all first responders through the recent merger partnership with City and Police Federal Credit Union. Join the community and become a member of Alive Credit Union today. Find out the many ways you can be inspired in financial wellness at alivecu.coop.
Imagine a brokerage platform that gives agents the flexibility to move between comp plans so that they can spend their entire career in one place while earning stock and recruiting other agents. And imagine the entire enterprise is created and backed by a proven industry innovator. Now imagine this platform already exists. Imagine you own this platform. Imagine how large you can grow, how much revenue share you could earn. Just imagine.
Get local sports on demand with Action Sports Jacks 24/7. All sports, all local, all the time. From the locker room to the field, the Jacks, high school football, the Jacksonville Armada, and don't forget, the Brett and Austin Show. They're all in on Trevor. Of course. Download the Action News Jacks Now app, available wherever you stream or at actionnewsjacks.com. TV, phone, laptop, desktop. Action Sports Jacks 24/7. Jacksonville sports, all the time.
Building off a summer of terrific action at Southern Oaks Stadium, the Jacksonville Armada are looking forward to the future and the return of pro soccer in Northeast Florida. Season ticket reservations for MLS Next Pro are underway, and for just $100, you can lock in some great benefits when it comes to supporting the boys in blue. Those who make a reservation will have first selection options in the new Armada Stadium out east, near Jacksonville's downtown sporting complex, as well as access to supporter VIP events like stadium tours, open training sessions, and future meet and greets with players and coaches. You can make your season ticket reservations at jacksonvillearmada.com/ticket. And while you're there, read the very latest on the Armada men's and women's teams in action this summer. Show your commitment to the fleet with an MLS Next Pro season ticket reservation at jacksonvillearmada.com/ticket.
This is Fleet and Footy on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network, sponsored by Alive Credit Union.
And welcome back inside the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 studios. You're looking at Big Lou
In a beautiful sweatshirt.
Yeah, and a sweatshirt you can own, by the way, on the Armada website.
Jacksonville.com. JacksonvilleArmada.com/shop.
Okay.
There you go. There you go.
Let's get your promos in there, man. Gotta get your promos in there. Let the people know.
Gotta get them right, too. Gotta get them right.
That way you can be looking. Are you gonna be wearing that to the holiday party?
Oh, I might have to look a little more snazzy at the holiday party. You might see me in a nice little sweater or something, you know?
Okay. Just looks snazzy enough to me. I don't know, man. I don't know. You're very festive. Can I wear I got my Action Sports Jack sweater. Is that good enough?
Well, I might have to put you on one of these if you show up late, you know?
No, that's not my style. I do like it. I do like it though for people who enjoy such things.
This will be what I wear on Christmas though, for sure. Christmas Day, Christmas morning.
Okay.
This is the fit. This is the fit.
All right. I like it. Hey, welcome back into Fleet and Footy. Stuart Weber here, Louis Larandy there, and we are discussing all things Jacksonville Armada and the world of soccer, as we do each and every week here on Fleet and Footy, a special Wednesday edition of the show. Normally, of course, Thursdays at 2 p.m. Right here on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network, both on the stream. You can also watch it on YouTube, social media, Twitter, Facebook, everywhere. Yeah, everywhere.
The app on the TV works great.
Twitch. I love the app on the TV. That's my favorite way. Although I will say it depends on how you want to watch the show, right? If you're an interactive person, you can do it on social media and then hop into the chat box, which
nice.
Little arrow there. Point that right there. See? Look at that.
There you go. Christian.
How about it?
Hola.
Yeah, so we love having people interact with us on the chat. Come ask us your questions. Come discuss the world of soccer with us. Did you have a exciting Champions League match that you enjoyed watching?
Champions League's going on right now, I'm pretty sure.
We got more matches going. Yeah, I guess there you go. Tuesdays, Wednesdays, right?
Yep.
I was watching some of it yesterday. The Leipzig match against Aston Villa. That was a good match.
Villa's been having a great little Champions League run.
That was it was just a fun match because it was back and forth. It ends up, I'm going to say 3-2 was the final for Villa. But it looked like it could have gone either way a couple times over the course of that thing. So it was a whole lot of fun. And this year is that new format of the Champions League where they have this.
Your favorite, the mega table.
The mega table, this giant mega table. No Section 904, no party. That's right. But Section 904 will be at the holiday party.
They will, of course they will, of course.
But yeah, so you're seeing really at this point in the Champions League, you're seeing the cream rise to the top a little bit. You're seeing these really good teams showcasing what they got. I mean, Liverpool now 6 for 6 as they've won all of their matches thus far.
Nope.
But you still have some surprising teams that are kind of struggling in this format and trying to work their way up.
PSG's down there at the bottom. I know that. Brest is doing really good at the top.
They've done really well.
They
The French club. It's cool to see some of these new names that maybe aren't getting shuffled down simply because they're in a tough group. This is giving them more opportunities to work their way up. Where is PSG? 24th.
Yeah,
24th.
They're sitting almost at that line.
Out of 36. And for those who don't know, the top 8 spots automatically qualify for the round of 16 when they go to a standard knockout.
Yep.
9 to 16 are then in playoffs as the seeded teams. They will host, I'm guessing
Yes.
the teams that are 17 to 24, the unseeded knockout team playoffs. And then 25 to 36, get on out of here.
No Europa, no nothing. That's it.
Nothing,
Get out of here.
Nothing. So I know you talked about it a couple weeks ago, just about how some of these smaller clubs, it's kind of a bummer that they don't get to go to Europa and have that aspect.
Yeah, but you know what? I thought about our conversation.
Yeah.
They do get more games in Champions League.
Because it's, what is it now?
I think they have 8.
8?
I think they play 8 games now in the table.
This is the 6th.
Yes.
that
So
they're
I think
going
they have
through right
two more weeks like this.
Okay.
And so they do make more money because they're in Champions League, but they don't continue that run on and that hype and that momentum, which I think is really cool. And you see teams like Sevilla, drop down every year and win it, or a Villarreal, or there's a lot of those English teams that do it as well. So it's definitely brought a new element of excitement into Champions League, this new format. I will say that. So I applaud UEFA for that.
Okay, well, the vast majority of matchups for today get going at the top of the hour.
There you go.
There's a couple going on right now. Atletico Madrid up 3-1 in their match late.
Yeah, Julian Alvarez scoring. I know that.
You're all over it, man. Griezmann's got the other 2, by the way.
Future LAFC player. Book it.
Book it. You're going to locking that in?
Yeah, we're locking it in a couple years early so you can clip his bag.
But good ones to watch today. Arsenal and Monaco.
That is a good one.
That's a good one. Both are 3-1 and 1 through 5. And then Borussia Dortmund, Barcelona.
Yeah, that's the one I'm
Barcelona.
excited for.
Yeah,
That's the one I'm excited for.
So a couple good ones in there. Hey, Juventus and Man City. So yeah, there's some good ones in there. I'll be pulling for Feyenoord, Rotterdam. I pull for all the Dutch teams. It's what I do. Although I'm more of a Ajax guy.
You're just a Netherlands homer.
Or ADO Den Haag. Den Haag. That's where my family is at, is in The Hague. So I try to pull for those teams when I can. It was really cool. I'll go off script here. 2 years ago? 2 years ago, I went over there. This is when the Jaguars had their playoff run. So in January of 2 years ago, I missed the home playoff game to go to my grandmother's birthday. She turned 100. So I felt like it was fair to, you know, how often can you go to your grandparents' 100-year-old birthday party? So I was in the Netherlands, and I went to one of their cup matches, and it was like a 5th division team against a 4th division team.
Oh, I love that.
So it was like super early, and it was the neighborhood team in The Hague, not Den Haag, not ADO Den Haag, but a lower team. And my cousin's son is like in their youth system.
Okay.
So he obviously wasn't playing in it, but it was that organization was playing in this cup game. And it was so fun. It's so fun to be able to go to these games all over the world, and it doesn't matter. That's one really cool thing about soccer, right? It doesn't matter where you go, all over the globe, you're going to have a chance to go to a really fun environment, fun soccer match, and get to enjoy the sport through another culture's eyes and the way that they experience it and the way that they get to enjoy it, which is really cool.
I think that's one of my favorite ways to connect with the culture, really. I love traveling, and I love seeing what the local college is doing, what the local pro team is doing, what the local minor league team is doing. It's really cool to be able to see that, and I think you're seeing in Jacksonville a lot with the support of these. You know, we have the Jaguars, obviously, but you're seeing the Icemen get over 7,000 people a game. You're seeing the Jumbo Shrimp sell out Friday night fireworks, so it's really, really cool, and I know we're excited to be in the fray in that downtown area once our stadium gets built. So it's going to be really cool to get that support from the Jacksonville people, and also the people, like we just mentioned, visiting the city, just wanting to come see something and wanting to enjoy something, and maybe we make a new fan here and there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know if I've told the story here on this show before, but one of my favorite travel moments of all time was going to an FC Tokyo match. I was in Japan, just no plan whatsoever, because that's how I am. And it was just me solo. And I went, and first of all, it was a task trying to buy a ticket to this game, right?
I can imagine.
Everything was a task. But that's part of the fun. Part of the experience is figuring it out as you go, right? And I want to say I bought my ticket for FC Tokyo from a fax machine in the 7-Eleven. That's how you buy sports tickets.
That's great.
Like, they have these fancy fax machines, and basically I went in there and I found someone who spoke the tiniest bit of English, and they guided me through it, and I was able to go purchase a ticket. And so then as I was getting ready to go to this FC Tokyo match, I'm in the train station, which you want to talk about chaos.
I could imagine.
Organized chaos. Now, it's very organized, but it's just hectic, and people are moving fast.
It's not like the SkyTrain here?
It's not like the SkyTrain in Jacksonville. God bless the SkyTrain.
I just shout out the SkyTrain.
Bless its heart. No, so I'm in this train station in Tokyo wearing my Armada gear. I had an Armada jersey on and the scarf because when I go to these away games, I like to wear my Armada gear.
Of course.
I'm not there to support either team. I'm there to experience the game and have a great time. And sure enough, I'm in this train station looking lost as a puppy, no idea where I'm going. What am I doing? And these two fans from FC Tokyo saw me, and they say, "Soccer match?" And I said, "Yes." And so, like, I just went with them, and I stuck with them the entire day. I never even went to my seat because I just went and sat in their seats with them.
That's awesome. What a story.
I did a scarf exchange with the guy at the end of the day. So he's got an Armada scarf at home.
There's an Armada scarf in Tokyo right now.
Sure is.
I love to
and I have
that.
an FC Tokyo one in my scarf display. And so yeah, Tetsuya Isogai was his name.
Amazing.
That was my guy, and it was just such an awesome experience, and really one of the best travel experiences I've had. And I've been to many places, and so that was such a cool cool time. I don't know how I got down this rabbit hole, but
We're
nonetheless,
experiencing cultures. We're watching
yeah,
games.
man, it is such a cool aspect of this sport. As you see, Christian there is going to be watching the Dynamo Zagreb game yesterday. All right, good stuff. Appreciate the support there. All right, let's talk a little MLS, shall we? We have a champion.
Well, right down the street from where I was,
Yeah.
we were playing our game, and right down the street in Carson, California, Los Angeles, was the MLS Cup Final. The Galaxy played the Red Bulls. Both these teams really fought their way to the final. The Galaxy sliced and diced their way through teams. They kind of had an easier run. They were obviously the number one seed in the West, so had a nicer time. But the Red Bulls really were the tournament team that surprised everyone. Emil Forsberg and John Tolkien really put the team on their back and were able to take them all the way to the final. But you can see there, the Galaxy get the cup, their 6th ever title. You would think more. The Galaxy haven't been too great of a team as of recent, but it's nice to see an established old school MLS brand, the original MLS Galacticos, compared to Inter Miami. It's nice to see a established brand back into the mainframe. I mean, MLS has the most eyes on it that I think it's ever had. You saw Don Garber already come out and say the Apple TV numbers were over expected. They got way more numbers than they thought they were originally going to. MLS ends up ranking this year in 2024 as the 2nd most attended league around the world. I mean, when you think of U.S., you don't think of soccer, but 12.1 million people in the United States watched an MLS match this season live in a stadium. So honestly, really impressive to see the growth there across the league. But we can take a little bit more of a look at this final. The Galaxy came out strong. They scored 2 goals really early. Joseph Paintsil, who's been amazing.
It was funny. I had it on in the sports office as other things were going on as well, and like I kind of like turned it on, and then like a second later, I'm like, 3rd minute, it's 1-0. Like, what just happened?
He's a flash, Joseph Paintsil. A second goal, Gabriel Peck scores, who I think will eventually be the highest outgoing transfer in MLS history. He's an amazing player, Brazilian. He'll go to Europe for some big money. Speaking of that, Inter Miami just sold Diego Gomez for the 3rd highest transfer fee in MLS history at $18 million. So you're seeing the global eyes on the league, not just, over here in this hemisphere, because obviously now you're seeing South America and Mexico. They're getting in tune. They're seeing what's up. All the big stars over here, all the big names want to come over here.
I wonder why.
I wonder why too. So the growth of the league is awesome.
It's messy.
And so the Red Bulls eventually fight back. They get a goal off of a set piece.
Yep.
Wasn't enough. I actually got to watch the last 5 minutes live in the bus on my phone, but the Galaxy do it without their star player, Ricky Puig, who tore his ACL.
He played on that thing for 30 minutes,
30
right?
minutes, yeah.
Gosh almighty. That's wild to me.
They had the Ricky Puig cam the entire game where they kept flashing over to him. At the end of the game, he turns his jersey around so you can see his number on the front. He was wearing Landon Donovan's number 10 jersey, so it was a cool sight to behold. He ends up celebrating later, and it goes really well. Now that we're at the end of the season,
so now we look forward. Now we push ahead, right? Because
now that we're in the season,
LA wins,
Yep.
and we can look a little south of LA because we got an expansion draft coming up. And here you take a look at San Diego FC
tonight on, I want to say their website, San Diego FC's website. They will be live streaming the MLS expansion draft. Now, if you don't know what an expansion draft is, it's kind of different. The NHL has done it more recently as one of the big 4 leagues, just because they've been adding teams. But the MLS does it as well. It's almost like we get this every year because there's so much expansion in MLS right now.
So this will be club number 30.
This will be. I know that they at least want to get to those 32 clubs, just like, like an NFL.
It's the American way.
And, the NBA is starting to want to do that too. I think the NHL wants to do that as well.
32 is just a good round number
It is.
when you have a 16-team playoff, which so many of these do. Although now you're getting even bigger with some of these play-in rounds and things of that sort.
Exactly.
Because everyone needs to make the playoffs.
Gotta make the money. And as you can see there, that's Chucky Lozano, the star DP signing for San Diego FC, and behind him, Snapdragon Stadium. That'll be the home ground for that team.
Maybe your favorite stadium name, Snapdragon Stadium.
Ooh, you want a favorite stadium name?
I mean, just in the U.S., right?
Landshark Stadium used to be one of my favorites when the Miami Dolphins used to play Landshark. That was one of my favorite names.
It's Joe Robbie, and it'll always be Joe Robbie Stadium.
My dad appreciates that very
Joe
much.
Robbie Stadium. I don't care what sponsor wants to put their name on it. That's Joe Robbie Stadium.
I love it.
Where the Dolphins play. But, you said the jersey got leaked for San Diego.
Jersey did get leaked. They already knew that it was going to be DirecTV as the main sponsor on the front. Okay. But jersey got leaked. Footy headlines was always in it. But the expansion draft, just to touch on it a little bit more tonight, it happens tonight. The MLS teams are able to protect a certain amount of players on their roster that cannot be selected. I want to say San Diego gets 6 selections, so they're able to take one player from each team of their choosing out of the 6 selections, and they can sign them to their roster. So it's really cool. There's some really big names out there. One of my hopes, because I think it would be a great way for them to market the team, especially in that area, LAFC signed Carlos Vela at the end of the season. He's unprotected. Hector Herrera just got dropped by Houston Dynamo. They didn't protect him. So you could get a nice little Mexican national team link up between Chucky Lozano, Hector Herrera, and Carlos Vela. You kind of just bring the boys back together, and I think that's a really cool way to get some of these old guys out there. You don't have to pay them as much because they are aging stars, but you're able to attract the fans.
It's an interesting concept for a sport that doesn't have expansion drafts, you know? I mean, we're a little bit more used to them in baseball and football and hockey, basketball even. But soccer, where everyone is so focused on, assets and developing your guys, etc., that's a different concept.
Yeah, you won't see this trend stop, I think.
No, I've always liked the expansion draft as a great way to get a team on its footing quickly, and to be able to jump in right away and be competitive. I think the best example of that is what you saw in the NHL, just with how quickly, like the Vegas Golden Knights were competitive right away.
LAFC and the MLS.
The Kraken.
Yep, the Kraken were great.
Were competitive right away. I don't know if the Utah Hockey Club.
Horrible name, horrible look. I just hate it all. I hate that.
Well, that's why I don't like teams that don't have logos in soccer. Like they don't have a mascot in soccer, because you're basically saying the exact same thing. It'd be like if it was a Utah FC.
Yes. That'd
be saying the exact same thing. Utah Football Club as opposed to the Utah Hockey Club or Washington Football Team.
Yep.
When the Commanders were between mascots. Yeah. I just want teams to have identities. And I get that, in Europe and especially in England, it's all developed over time and you come up with your mascot organically. Mm-hmm. We don't live in that world anymore. No, we got to sell merch. We want to get some merch out there to the people. You got to have a mascot right away. You can't just have City FC.
Well, I love our branding. I love the anchor. I love the local ties back in. I think we got one of the best brands in the United States. Yeah. It definitely is interesting to see how these MLS teams are going to market themselves to this new era of fan. And I think you're seeing it. San Diego's trying to be a little bit different, just like LAFC was a little bit different when they came into the league. Atlanta was also very successful with their expansion draft and coming into the league.
Again, they just added United on the end of it and said, call it a day. We're done here.
But I know I'll be tuning in tonight to the expansion draft. That's always interesting.
Yeah.
I know the MLS draft is coming up soon, the college draft as well. So that's always something fun to keep your eye on. I've seen some big name players over the years get drafted, and it's cool to see. You get to see them slowly integrate into the squad. I remember watching Kyle Laring get drafted to Orlando City and him eventually, selling for a record fee over to Turkey. So it's definitely really cool to be able to see that how the draft system still works over here for soccer in MLS.
All right, Hamby, I sent you some video. You're going to pop that up in a second, and I'm kind of going off script here, as I often do during the show, but we're creating a new segment right here, right now, Lou. And we want the fans at home to interact with us on this segment, and we want you to show us your scarf collection.
Oh, I'm going to have to get in on this one.
So here we are. We're taking a look at Jason Kaveen, one of the Section 904 diehards.
There's a lot of gorgeous scarves there.
I mean, check this soccer room out, and these scarves. You got some flags in there as well. I mean, and the really cool thing about these is that they tell a story, right? It always tells each one of these probably tells a story to the person who owns them, and I have the same with mine. I'll take a picture of mine. We'll bring that to the show here next show and kind of showcase it. But everything tells a story, and it's such a cool aspect of the game to where each of these really brings memories back to you when you see it hanging on your wall. You can remember a specific game that you went to, a city you went to, an event you went to. So we want you, the fans at home, share them with us. Share them on social media. You see our tags right there on the social media. Come on. Better, closer, better. A little bit, a little more. Come on, Lou. It's an hour program. Get it over. Okay. We'll work on that with you, Big Lou. We'll work on that. Send me a tweet. Send me a video, a picture, whatever it may be, to showcase your soccer scarves, how you have them displayed, what your room looks like, and we'll share another one next show. So
I'll have to hop in on this trend too.
Shout out to Jason on the first one, able to get him involved and get that going. All right, we got one more thing to get to on the show, but we're going to take another quick break first. But when we come back, we have your weird soccer story of the week. Lou has been searching.
And it's winter related.
Searching all over. Yes, because, winter is such a thing here for us. we are so winter centric as we get ready to drop into those Arctic 50-degree temperatures. Why we got sweaters on today. Goodness gracious. All right, we're coming right back here on Fleet and Footy. Your weird soccer story of the week is up next.
Ancla Dorada. The official bear of your Jacksonville Armada.
When you think sports, you think Action Sports Jacks, the official station of the Jaguars, on location for every game. But the most experienced team in town doesn't stop there. From high school football to the big events in the area, Action Sports Jacks is always on. Now, we take that to a new level. Action Sports Jacks 24/7 is around-the-clock coverage of the teams you love and the moments you can't miss. The best local sports in Jacksonville on Action Sports Jacks 24/7. People helping people. It's at the core of what Alive Credit Union is all about, and it's been that way for over 70 years. From the start in 1954 to today, the mission remains to inspire financial wellness and give you a financially fit lifestyle. Alive Credit Union and its employees are committed to not only serving their valued members, but also our community here in Northeast Florida. I had a chance to see that commitment firsthand as Alive partnered with our Action Sports Jacks 24/7 team to bring you Armada men's and women's soccer broadcasts. Inside the 18, it is a shot, and it's a goal! Chloe Chivers! And that connection to the community continues with Alive Credit Union's support of the Police Athletic League of Jacksonville. Alive Credit Union's commitment to our community also involves serving the financial needs of all first responders through the recent merger partnership with City and Police Federal Credit Union. Join the community and become a member of Alive Credit Union today. Find out the many ways you can be inspired in financial wellness at alivecu.coop.
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jacks to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jacks in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jacks 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. Final. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms, whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV. You can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry, we still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jacks 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
This is Fleet and Footy on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network, sponsored by a live credit union.
Hey, welcome back to Fleet and Foot. That song just kind of gets me amped up every time I hear it coming back from break. Just Stuart Weber here, along with Louis Larandy, and we're wrapping up today's show, as we do each and every week on Fleet and Footy, with your weird soccer story of the week. That's where you start talking about it.
This one comes out of Denmark. Who also, who else
you
comes?
Just leave the voices to me. This, by the way, the picture's not from Denmark. I just wanted to show you soccer in the snow.
It's a gorgeous picture,
Yeah,
though.
okay.
The story comes from Denmark, just like goalkeeper coach Nick Ruller.
It's Hula.
There you go.
Hula. Rulle. Hula. Roll that R.
Danish clubs FC Nordsjælland and AGF were both fined after a snowball fight broke out between fans. It's not necessarily even a snowball fight, as later on it is revealed that the clubs were fined 5,000 kroner each, which is 555 pounds, which is around 500 US. Did I get that wrong?
Yeah, it's the other way.
What is it, the other way?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like 650.
Oh, okay, that's what it is. I guess we're better.
That's actually not how that works
really?
at all. Again, showing your age at 23.
Yikes.
That's fine. Go on.
And then the Danish FA ended up saying that each team threw 2 snowballs each. So they were fined for each of the snowballs. It was stated that snowballs did not hit a player and had no influence on the conduct of the match, but were a violation of the regulations on safety and order at the stadium. Nordsjælland ended up being victorious in the game, and an American scored the last goal, which had to put that in there. But what do you think about
We're
this?
talking about 4 snowballs total.
4.
Just 4.
I don't know who counted them. I don't know if they went back.
They didn't get on the field.
They replayed the footage.
They didn't impact the game.
They didn't hit a player. They didn't hit the ref. They didn't hit anyone.
Was it that 6-year-old from France?
From France. They took the flight over because they were banned for a couple of games.
I bet this was that 6-year-old from France.
It's not a bad shout. It's not a bad shout, Stuart.
If you missed it last week on our weird story of the week.
I mean, what are we doing here once again with the fining and the banning? I mean, these clubs, I
don't know. This is a little extreme.
I know that if Section 904 were in a snowy stadium, there would be some snowballs flying. That's all.
I don't know if there would be, because all the pyro would melt it. They'd have their flames melting it all. Yeah, this is a little silly. I get that you want to keep a little order, but 4 snowballs, and you're talking about $300 per snowball. That's not.
And Scandinavian rules up there, I think. They're very relaxed. They're very calm up there, so they just want to keep it that way.
I don't know, man. I don't know. That's that's a little much.
We'll see what we can come up with next week.
By the way, you know what? The good news is that we don't have to deal with that here.
Exactly.
I don't think the Jacksonville Armada are ever going to incur a snowball fine, especially here in Jacksonville, and maybe on the road one day. If we find ourselves on the road in a snowy environment, I need you to throw 1 snowball.
Just to see what happens.
See what happens.
See if we get fined.
Throw it at Nathan, since he's the one who'd get fined the $300 for it if we went by those standards. All right, so that is your weird soccer story of the week. Yeah. Fun. All right, fun show. Oh, that was good.
That was fun.
Yeah, it was good talking about the Armada Academy, the under-19s. Made it all the way to the championship game. What an awesome performance by the boys in blue to represent Jacksonville, Northeast Florida, and the Armada, coming up just short of qualifying for that April tournament, but nonetheless a great performance by them. Lewis, thanks so much for hopping in, being back in Northeast Florida.
Thank you, Stuart, for having me.
Good to have you back, my friend. And thanks everybody for watching at home. We'll be back to our normal Thursday time slot coming up in the future. Have a good one.